Welcome to the Wakefield Doctrine. It's the theory of Clark, Scott's, and Rogers midweek video post. I'm doing one for a couple of reasons. One, we have Thursday's guest post Thursday coming up. We're back in the cycle to a Scott, which should be fun, always fun actually, with Scott's. And somehow coinciding with that, I had a little bit of an epiphany while working in the yard today that I thought I would share with people because it probably will be easier to describe than to write. Me facing my uphill battle as I do with the written word and such. Anyway, so I'm out today, take some time off, cut some trees down. Actually, the trees were already cut down, but they needed to be cut up and disposed of. The picture of like a pine tree, actually it's not like a pine tree, it was a pine tree. But it was about the thickness of a telephone pole. So I cut it down, it fell down actually, and I cut it up partially. So today, around lunch hour, I decided to go out and do the rest of it. And as being a fresh pine tree, I had to cut it by hand. That's not related, the cutting by hand and being fresh. But the effect was that the damn thing kept seizing the saw, the dead tree, in its last dying attempt to strike back at the unfair world. And so every time I pull on the saw, it'd stick. You've all done that. I know, it's a common thing. So I'm getting madder and madder and tireder and tired as I'm like it's going on for like what should have been a 20-minute exercise, good healthy Robert Frost kind of day turned into this horrible Lawrence of Arabia, sweating and out of breath, pulling on this damn saw, trying to get this damn tree cut in half or into bite-sized chunks. So it gets down to I'm starting to get tired now. What happens, of course, is then you start to make bad judgments, trip over your own feet, in other words. So I get to the point of where it looks like it should be, falling apart, and it isn't. And I'm levering things, doing a lot of different things to try to, basically what you need to do is to raise the log so that one end is suspended so that the force of gravity becomes your friend and aid and pulls on it as you saw, thereby causing the thing to break off. Well, the laws of gravity were like conspiring against me, and it wasn't working. Now I'm really getting mad. and I see myself stumble over some branches as I'm approaching it, walking around trying to just cut it different ways. So finally I got really mad. Now here's the doctrine lesson here, or doctrine insight. I take that back, not a lesson, insight. And I expect the Scotts out there as well as the Clarks to connect the dots here. I was trying my hardest and trying to figure out why this damn thing wasn't cutting. And finally I got really mad and started explicating, using expletives, bad words, curse words. Fill in the blanks. For your own purposes at home as you read this, or at work, fill in whatever you would say when that thing doesn't work, And I was doing that very strongly, and then I think I just picked it up and pulled on it, the inhuman strength thing. And naturally just snapped in half. And I laughed, as I often do when I gain an insight into the nature of my worldview vis-a-vis the Wakefield Doctrine. Because what I saw in my own lesson, and I definitely want to hear from readers as to how they interpret this event, was that I was in a full Clark mode, thinking about the trouble I was having, still making the effort physically, but I was trying to grasp a physical event through mental means, thinking about it. When I got mad enough to just the hell with anything reasonable and did something totally unreasonable, which Scots out there will identify with. And that's what it took. I became effective in this particular task only when I pushed myself or the circumstances pushed me sufficiently to give up thinking about it and just strike out at it, to go straight to the emotional, directed outwards. The obvious inferences are there for all of us. It's, I was sawing the log from inside my head. Now, it doesn't mean that I could have done a better job from a Scotian view, which would have been attack that log. Don't think about it, just attack that log, because a Scot would do that with anything on hand, and they chop their feet off a lot when they do that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying one is superior, the other is not, but it was that insight of holy shit. I just stopped thinking about it and did something, and it was more effective. So that's my little mini lesson insight. I keep saying lesson. I guess I'd better get a cap and gown soon, or maybe one of those Oxfordian robes. That would be kind of fun. Anyway, I'm going to stop because I think we remind me tomorrow when this goes up to tell you about the joke I didn't do for the benefit of our guest host Thursday. I will explain it all in great detail. Bye.